City News is brought to you by East Brewster Lawyers Rotorua, celebrating 100 years of legal excellence and innovation.
Kia ora Rotorua, ahead in tonight's bulletin. Categories for next year's Creation Fest have been announced with an emphasis on dynamic innovation. The Inner City Focus Group is inviting locals to a Heart of Rotorua community breakfast, and tickets for January's National Provincial Sevens are now on sale. Rotorua's revitalised art show Creation Fest will feature 5 new wearable section categories in 2014, all with an emphasis on dynamic innovation. The categories were announced at a workshop this week. Creation Fest replaces the formal annual Wearable Creations Showcase and will be held across 5 shows at the Blue Baths next year. Event coordinator and Blue Baths Managing Director Jo Remains says her team is excited about bringing wearable arts back to Rotorua after a year's hiatus. She says it's going to be a fantastic community event with some new energy and thinking, building on the Wearable Creations legacy.
It's been quite a journey. The Wearable Creations event is something that was started by the Rotorua Creative Arts Trust, and the new event is still under their umbrella. The event itself really started off as something very, very small 10 years ago, and over that period of time has grown into be a large event. I think there were 6,000 people attended the last one, which was in 2012. A little bit ironic, I suppose, because the event grew to be so huge and the workload quite onerous and all the responsibilities associated became just a little bit too much for a volunteer group, and so the trustees bowed out the last event being in August 2012. So for 2013, for the first time in 10 years or so, Rotorua hasn't seen this event. It's had a hiatus, and so we've been working with the trustees for the last quite a few months now to talk about how we could perhaps take over the event and lessen their workload but still be under their umbrella. So that's what we've come up with, Creation Fest 2014.
Entries for Creation Fest are expected to open early next year. The Inner City Focus Group is inviting locals to a Heart of Rotorua community breakfast next week, featuring guest speaker Peter Kenyon. Mr. Kenyon is the author of 16 publications within the fields of community and economic development. Over the last decades, he has worked with over 1,000 communities to facilitate fresh and creative ways that stimulate community and economic renewal. The community breakfast is on next Tuesday at the Copthorne Hotel. For more information, visit rdc.govt.nz. And our district councillors have been seen out and about getting familiar with local business and the people who own them. Yesterday they were spotted by our cameras visiting the Orchidee Falls store. Store owner Sarah Ull was this year's Business of the Year award winner at the Westpac Business Excellence Awards. She outlined to the councillors her business philosophy.
The other thing that highlighted to me, which was quite recent, we've just gone through and done all our marketing strategy, etc. for the store to see where we're going to in the future, and we have to look at what our competitors are doing and how we safeguard that. But as I look at it, well, we are a monopolistic business. You know, it's supposedly a very easy entry, very easy exit, so people can start up a cafe or a store very easily. But in actual fact, in Rotorua, you can't. It's really difficult. So the barriers that have been created by RDC are actually very good for us because it's stopping other competitors, but it's very bad for Rotorua growth.
A hui to discuss the review of New Zealand's burial and cremations laws was held yesterday at Ohinimutu. Hosted by the Law Commission, the hui throughout New Zealand will discuss issues around burial disputes, industry regulation and cemetery management. For more information on the review, visit lawcom.govt.nz. In sport tonight, tickets for the National Provincial Sevens tournament being held here in January have gone on sale. 26 teams, including 10 women's and 16 men's teams, will compete for national titles at the International Stadium on January the 11th and 12th. Bay of Plenty Rugby Union CEO Mike Rogers says ticket prices have been set at an affordable level to encourage as many people as possible to attend the games. For ticket prices, visit ticketmaster.co.nz. To your weather now, Rotorua. Tonight there'll be showers with northeast breezes and an overnight low of 12. Tomorrow, Thursday, cloudy periods with the chance of a shower, northeast breezes, a high of 20 and a low of 10. And the outlook for Friday, cloud increasing with late rain, light winds, a high of 22 and a low of 10. And the marine forecast for Lake Rotorua, northeast rising to 10 knots for a time in the afternoon, with waves less than half a metre, mainly fine with the chance of an afternoon shower. Remember, for program listings and other info, or to catch up on city news, you can visit our website tvrotorua.co.nz. Still to come tonight in City News, we catch up with Westpac Business Excellence Award winner Sarah Uhl. We meet the new artistic coach at Mig's Gym. And we catch up on local crime statistics with Inspector Tim Anderson.
We're here at the Orchidea Falls stall. It's a beautiful day. The World Rafting Championships is on out the window. The council is here because they want to celebrate this amazing shop. And I'm joined now by the owner, Sarah Uhl, who's going to tell me the secret of your success. What is it?
Oh, I don't know too sure if I can tell you that. We're simply just a community store, and we try and do the best job that we can do.
And what has been the thing that has tied the community closest to you?
I think we support the community, and we're very involved with it. We meet all the needs of the community at every level.
So tell me about some of those needs.
It's really just to tie people together and bring them together. We live in quite a separate world, and it brings us all under one roof and to have coffee together and share stories.
So you have coffee groups?
We do.
Tell me about
Believe
them.
it or not. In the morning we've got a classic coffee group, and that's a group of guys, would you believe it, that come every morning and sit down and solve the problems of the world.
They just catch up?
Yeah.
So it's really great for the community spirit then, isn't it? And that whole sense of community.
Yeah, it is perfect for this community. We're a very diverse community. We have the very wealthy people living here from Auckland with their bachelors, and then we have some of the poorest people in New Zealand. And it's really nice when you can bring those people together and there's no differences.
So what are the things they talk about?
Everything. Everything.
Do they talk about the food?
Well, yeah, of course, food is always important in life, but they're mostly solving the political problems of the world, really.
Well, how ironic then that they've got the council here.
Yeah.
Are there them saying...
Lucky they're not here, otherwise the council would be inundated.
I was going to say there might be some things they wanted to say.
There definitely would be.
Well, we'll have to book that appointment for later on.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about the kind of food that you have here, if we can just deviate now from the success of the business, because I'm looking around and it all looks very foreign.
No, it's not foreign at all. So what we do is we sell your everyday groceries, because we are 20 k's out of Rotorua, and then what we have is a whole lot of gourmet products as well, which are very popular with the batch owners. And the idea behind the gourmet products is that they are made with a passion, and they're not necessarily organic, but we know where the ingredients have come from. They're preservative free, and that's really what we want to try and create. And the more we can create that and make people aware of those products, then the better for all of us.
Well, perhaps foreign isn't the right word, perhaps unique, different. I just don't see a lot of these kind of products in our supermarkets.
No, but they are becoming more and more common. So quite often what we do with our products is that we'll stock them for a while and they become very popular, and then the supermarkets will take them on. And at that point we might be disappointed that we've lost a good product to the supermarket, but at the same time we can celebrate that because it means that food is becoming mainstream.
And you're not the only ones that can celebrate. I mean, everybody can celebrate the victory at the Westpac Business Awards. So tell me a little bit about that.
That was pretty fun. So we entered the Westpac Business Awards as a challenge to us to try and improve the processes of the business. And for that it was just fantastic. So to go to the evening and then win the retail section and then win the Supreme, well, that was just magic really for us.
Absolutely. Tell me a little bit about what your plans are for the future now that you've won. Where do you go from here?
Oh, that's a difficult one, and the pressure's always on. So when you seem to have been doing a good job, you need to up your game. So we sat back down after receiving that award, and we know how we're going to do that. So we've just been reviewing the whole business and what we can do and where we can go from here, and we've got a few ideas.
Can you let us know what any of them are?
The biggest idea I can let you know is that we're continually improving and innovating what we are doing, so we can give a better product to our customers.
And let's go back to politics now. The mayor and two council are going to be out here. Can you tell me a bit about their visit?
I think the mayor and the councillors are coming around businesses and asking businesses what they think of Rotorua and what they think of the Rotorua District Council and how it's serving businesses, which is fantastic because they obviously they're getting down to the core and finding out what can be done to make Rotorua a better place.
Wonderful. I know you're going to be hosting them now, so we'll leave you to it. Thank you very much, and congratulations.
Thanks a lot.
Kia ora, I'm here with Fabian Amoa, who is the Artistic Director of Mig's Gym. He's got something very exciting happening here soon. A Commonwealth athlete is going to be joining and training here for the Commonwealth Games. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much for being here.
Tell me about this athlete. What's their name?
Well, the name is Jordan Ray, and she is an international representative from the New Zealand national team. She already represented New Zealand in the Commonwealth Games in Delhi before. She was in the World Championships in Amsterdam in 2011, and she was fair reserve for the Olympics from the whole world for London. So now she's working very hard to be ready for Glasgow for next year. So she moves to Rotorua a couple of weeks ago, and she started training with us. I trained Jordan before when I was in counties. So Jordan is here training now regularly at the gym. At the moment he's training in Australia, in Jets, in Melbourne. But she will be here next week, and then she will be working out with us through the Commonwealth Games.
So what has brought her here?
I'm sorry?
What has made Jordan want to come here to train?
Well, I coached Jordan when she was young in counties before. And when I just arrived at the country a couple of months ago, and Jordan know that I'll be here, she contacted me and she wants to keep going in her training with us.
Great, so you've actually brought her here. Then the question needs to be, what brought you to Rotorua?
Well, I love New Zealand. I lived in New Zealand before. I want to live here, so I was looking for a job to return to New Zealand and live here permanently. And when this opportunity came at Mix in Rotorua, I accept the position and I want to come to live here.
Fabulous. And so, straight into it, training for the Commonwealth Games. Is this something that you have trained for as a coach before?
Yeah, in the States, suppose I coach one silver medalist in the World Champ, Jana Bigger, one girl who was reserved in the national team for the Olympics also. So we coach many elite athletes in the past, in Argentina, in the States. And in New Zealand, we developed Jordan from a regular level, a normal level, to the elite level. So it's a level that we are familiar to work on.
So how many years have you been doing this?
I started coaching like 25 years ago, approximately. So it's something that I do my whole life, pretty much.
And so a new twist now, you're in Rotorua, a different country or a different place, and with a new athlete, what is your focus going to be to get her to the medal podium at the Commonwealth Games?
Well, it's hard to say that now because we need to have a build-up also in the competition. Jordan is going to compete. He have a qualified competition in Auckland in May, approximately. Then she's going to compete in Australia and in Sydney in a national championship there, like a qualified competition for make the national team for the Commonwealth Games. So it's not only about the training, it's also about the build-up for the competition. So she have a couple of competitions planning for build her up for the Commonwealth Games.
And final question, you as a coach, how satisfying is it for you to see your athletes receive medals?
Well, it's important. It's like the last part of the job, really, and it's important. But the most important thing, of course, important that you get a medal in this important competition. But it's important that you always try to develop the girl and try to improve their routines. In this case, for Jordan, and I think Jordan have some chances, pretty much in beam, to get a medal for the country.
In beam, and she's in any other ones?
Well, in the other ones, it's difficult to say because it depends on a lot of different factors that you need to analyze comparing with other athletes. I think the British girls are very strong on bars at the moment, but Jordan, she has some skills and a good routine. She's very clean at execution in beam. So from my perspective, she has some chances of beam to get a medal.
Great. Thank you. Well, we'll definitely keep an eye out and watch, and good luck.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, we've got some good news for you today, and that is that the Bay of Plenty and Rotorua crime statistics are in, and the crime rates in Rotorua are at the lowest they've ever been since 1995. And to share more about this is Inspector Tim Anderson. Thanks for joining us today, Tim. No, now, that has to be great news for the police and for the Rotorua community, that this is the lowest rate in just under 20 years. That's amazing.
Yeah, look, we're really happy with that. So people should be feeling a lot safer around town now, because overall, I think the last year reduction was around 8% overall. So that's 1,000 or over 1,000 less victims we've had in Rotorua for the last year, so that's a great thing.
Is it across the board when it comes to the crime rates, or is it more serious crimes or the minor crimes?
Look, it's a bit of both. Generally, so across the board it's 8%. For crimes that really matter to people, like burglary, people hate coming home and having their houses broken into, that sort of thing. We've had a reduction of over 19% for the year, and this is a year-on-year reduction, so we're continually seeing a reduction over the years. Things like theft, over a 6% reduction there too, so that's good news.
Yeah. So what's different? What have the police been doing differently that it's contributing to the reducing the crime rate?
Look, we have a number of crime prevention strategies, which I sort of can't go into the details of them. I've sort of given away all our tricks, but essentially it's targeting our hot and known offenders. So you might have a handful of offenders that commit, say, 90 or 80% of the crime, so it's targeting those type of people, targeting hot locations, repeat victims, so certainly wrapping around some service around people that have been, say, victimised more than once or twice within the last year, and also a whole lot of other prevention stuff. So we don't like responding to crime, we try and prevent it in any way we can.
Now, I remember a wee while ago there was something happening in my neighbourhood, and I called you guys, called the police, and within 3 minutes they were there. So the response time was very quick. Is that something that you guys have been working on as well?
Yeah, we always look at our response times in terms of, and that's not just serious crime, that's any sort of call. We always implore the public in our community to call us if they think something's suspicious. 98% of the time it will be. So if they just ring us about anything suspicious, generally it might be a burglar in the area, it might be casing a property or someone up to no good, give us a call and we can come and check that out. Sometimes people are a bit reluctant to call us. They think we're too busy or we've got other things on, but they're just the sort of calls we need to hear from.
Yeah. So that 2% is not a big deal if you go there and there is actually nothing happening.
Exactly, yeah. And then we can, if it's something innocent, we quickly work that out really quickly and move on to the next job.
Yeah. Now let's talk a little bit about Crime Stoppers, because that's a free 800 number that the public can call for anything like you said. But what a lot of people don't really understand is that it's a charity and not actually run by the police.
Yeah, so anyone calling Crime Stoppers is certainly guaranteed that their name or the source of the information is kept anonymous. What we are as police interested in is just the information. So we don't really we're not so much interested that Allens provide the information. It's the information that we want, and then we work with that. So, and they're completely separate to police.
And that's run 24 hours a day, isn't it?
Yeah. And people can use it not just for crimes of dishonesty and drugs and that, but if they're concerned about a neighbour in terms of, say, family violence or a child abuse type thing, they could ring Crime Stoppers.
Now, recently there was changes to the legislation about the psychoactive substance bill. Now that's been in for a few months now. Have you noticed a reduction in crime because of this?
Look, in terms of that, there's always a clear link between drugs that harm people and crime. So I think it's a bit early to say it's early days, but the good thing about this legislation is that it gives us some tools around it. So there's those substances were clearly causing a lot of harm. This is the information we'd received from the hospitals, the doctors and the nurses that deal with these people and would turn extremely violent and that sort of thing. And also our frontline guys and girls responding to jobs. So around drugs particularly, it doesn't matter what drug it is, we're concerned about the harm on that person, not only that person but the community, the family and everyone around that. So that's our concern there.
Yeah. Now obviously we're coming up to the busy summer season. Christmas is almost here and the new year, always a busy time for you guys. During that time, do you bring in more staff, or is the whole Rotorua police station, are they all on call?
Yeah, look, we certainly make an emphasis the summer period, more alcohol's involved. We pretty much police to the demand. So we don't bring in more staff, we just make sure our staff are better utilised over that summer period, yeah.
Now, before we started filming, Tim, we were talking about the perception that there's a high crime rate in Rotorua, but obviously with these new figures and the reduction in the crime rate, how can we change that perception?
Yeah, look, I guess the media have a little bit to play in that, whether it be print, TV or radio media. I think across North Island sometimes Rotorua gets a real bad rap. It's certainly an undeserved reputation if it exists. I think it's a city that is safe and it's a city that people feel safe in. This crime reduction's come on the back of previous years' crime reductions, and even since July through to now, this period in November, we've seen continued crime reductions. So we've had 10% less crime since July to now, and we've had sort of say 9% less burglaries. So it's continuing to trend. Occasionally you get one story here and there which sometimes blows up an issue.
Bucks the trend.
Yeah.
All right, just before we go, Tim, obviously, like you said, the Christmas is almost upon us. How intensive are you guys going to be on the roads in with regards to cruise buses and the safety and things like that?
Yeah, look, so for us, it's about making sure the families and everyone gets home safely. So whether they're on the road or in their homes, we make sure they're safe. So if people are abusing alcohol and then trying to drive or things like that, then they will be apprehended. Same with committing crime. So our focus from now until December is certainly in preventing any sort of further carnage on the roads or even in people's homes around family violence. Yeah.
Good stuff. Well, you and the team here, they do a fantastic job, so I appreciate your time. Thank you, Tim.
Thanks, Alan. Cheers.
That was Inspector Tim Anderson talking to Alan Solomon. We'd love to hear from you if you have any news or information that you'd like to share with us. Give the station a call on 07 3488 984, or you can email news@tvrotorua.co.nz. Thanks for watching tonight. Ko Maria.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.
City News was brought to you by East Brewster Lawyers Rotorua, celebrating 100